And a very good morning. It's Tuesday, the 31st of March, and it's around about 20 past 10. Yeah. So I've got my kids doing their schoolwork on Purple Mesh, which is good. I've got my young. Can you turn that down a little bit? Yeah. They're doing maths at the moment. So that's good. Paul's window cleaners, a la mate. So you probably clicked on this because you saw the thumbnail. And I've been on social media a lot. Hi, Kieran. Because I've got bugger all else to do, really. And I'm shocked. Josh, good morning. I'm shocked and I'm sickened, you see, because I knew this was going to happen. Okay, and by the way, for those of you who saw my videos recently about the figures, the numbers of casualties or confirmed cases, 2 weeks ago tomorrow, I predicted 25,000. The death count was way off by about 400, 500, but my cases were bang on. So this time tomorrow, have a look at the numbers. There'll be at least 25,000 or thereabouts. But anyway, look, so let me get back on course. I knew this would happen. The amount of people that panic bought food and toilet roll, what have you. For those of you who did panic buy and you've got all your toilet roll, great. Good for you. Wonderful. You see, we prepared ourselves. Right, I knew something was going to happen from when all of this scaremongering with North Korea was going on. So we stocked up on the basics of dry food and this, that, and the other months and months ago, preparing. But people that bought, and I mean specifically panic bought bread, meat, things that should go in the freezer. The amount of people that have thrown food away, food that could have been frozen, food that was perfectly good, you panic bought, and now there's untold amount of food going to landfill. Let that sink in. Landfill. Wasted food. Food that could have been bought by people who actually needed it. Food that could have gone to food banks, for example. Food that could have gone to the elderly that went around supermarkets and couldn't find anything. Food that could have been bought by key workers that have been working around the clock to try and get some kind of normal back to people. Think about that. So you panic bought food which was perishable, and now it's being thrown away, and I'm sickened. I am. It makes me feel sick, considering there are places on this planet that are currently scared beyond belief at COVID-19. There are spontaneous settlements, and for those who don't know what a spontaneous settlement is, it's a shanty town. Towns made of corrugated steel and wood, with no healthcare system. They don't get anything. They have no money, they have no food, they have barely any access to running water. And yet the people that went and panic bought, for the sake of panic buying, think it's okay to just throw food away when there's people out there that have absolutely nothing. It sickens me. Greed is what it is. It's things that you take for granted, you see. And it's easy for me to say that while I'm sitting here on my leather sofa with my coffee. But one thing I do not do, and one thing I will not tolerate in this house, is waste. Food waste. It drives me mad. Ollie?
Yeah.
What does Daddy say what you got to do with your dinner every day?
Eat it all up.
Eat it all up. And what do we not do with dinner?
Waste it.
Waste it. See? That's my 5-year-old saying that. My 5-year-old. Let that sink in. My 5-year-old knows not to waste food if he can help it. Admittedly, sometimes I might give him a bit too much, but that's my fault. You see? I think now at this point, bearing in mind supermarkets have calmed down considerably, people are queuing up relatively well. And supermarket staff or security guards are only letting certain amounts of people in at a time, which is good. It's controlled, it's calm. And the best way when you go outside, if you have to go out, is treat everyone around you as if they have the illness. That's the only way people are going to be extra cautious, is treat people like they have COVID-19. Stay away from people at the moment. Social distancing. I'm telling you, if you can stay home, then stay at home. Now, normally, I'm quite a big fan of Nigel Farage. I like Farage, I do. But he went live yesterday on Facebook and he's criticising pretty much the government's stance on this so-called lockdown. Now, bearing in mind, it's not totally enforced at the moment. It is advice that we should all take. And he's saying he went out 8 times yesterday. That's not responsible. Oh, I live in a rural area. He said it's nice, it's quiet. It makes no difference, Mr. Farage. I'm a fan of yours, but you shot yourself in the foot yesterday.
Love you, Dad.
Love you too, Bubs. Things have been said for our own good. If you don't have to go out, don't go out. You don't know what other people have. You don't know what is on the street getting onto your shoes. You don't know what can get on your clothes by getting on a bus and then you bring it home. You don't know that. It's not worth any kind of risk at the moment. So if everyone that doesn't need to go out actually stays in, just stays in. Unless you absolutely have to stay in, the virus will die where it is. And unfortunately, this is bad. People are going to get ill. People are going to die. But think about this. If everywhere in the UK was locked down 100% and nothing was allowed to move, okay? If nothing was allowed to move for 2 weeks, just 2 weeks, and the government said to every household, we'll give you £1,000. Boys, get away from each other now. I don't care. If we were to get given £1,000 per household, literally paying us to stay in, and they said, right, in a week, I want you to stay home for 14 days, everyone across the country. Here's £1,000 into your bank account. Everyone, give everyone £1,000. Just give everyone £1,000. Okay? But within a week, we want you to stay home for 14 days. That'll give everyone enough chance to go and get basic food provisions for 2 weeks. A week. All right? To go and be sensible. Don't panic buy. Get what you need. You probably won't need that much anyway, because I'm hoping people would not panic buy, but have portion control. Learn to ration your food. This, that, and the other. If that happened, if everyone was given £1,000 and told to stay home for 2 weeks, within 3 weeks, this whole thing would be dealt with. People in hospital would hopefully recover. Unfortunately, people in hospital would die. People at home that have it would have it and hopefully get over it. People that need to be taken to hospital, call 999. That gets dealt with. But within 3 weeks, it would be dealt with if people just did as they're damn well told. It would. It would. But the panic buying and it boggles the mind, the amount of food that has been thrown away. It makes me sad. the amount of food people have thrown away. People that crammed into supermarkets, pushing, shoving, kicking, overspending, money that they claim they didn't have. This is another thing that I'm going to get onto a separate video later on. People that say they have no money, yet automatically, for some unknown reason, have hundreds of pounds to spend in any kind of supermarket and all kinds of different foods that were perishable and that are now being thrown away, that could have been left on the shelf for people to buy responsibly, for people that actually need it. I'm not happy about this. I'm not by a long shot. And you people out there that did go out and panic buy thinking you were doing the sensible thing, I'm disappointed with you. That's not British. That's not even sensible. To be fair, that's not even grown up. Shame on you. Shame on you all that went and panic bought and have thrown food away. You make me sick.